Abruzzo, Leo Ramersdorfer and Nicolo Carraro, who starts in 25th and last on the grid, has won 2 of the last 3 British Grand Prix here.
So how's the nerves, how's the butterflies for British star Scott Ogden as he is set to roar away from just his second career pole position in what is about to be his 92nd start in the Moto3 World Championship. Nicolo Carraro just is having a bit of a shocking time at the moment. He's qualified 26th, Carraro, in 3 of the last 4 Grand Prix, and he won't thank me for reading out this stat. He's the only full-time rider on the grid this year, Carraro, that's not yet scored a single point in our opening 11 Grand Prix. 231 points collected by Max Keeles. There'll be no addition to that tally in this upcoming British Grand Prix, as he's absent with the broken right collarbone, suffered in the nasty Q2 crash yesterday.
Everyone on the front 4 rows has gone for the medium front, medium rear combination from Pirelli. The riders to keep an eye on who are on the soft rear tyre, the key runners on the soft rear tyre, Morelli from 13th, Tatava from 15th, and Casey O'Gorman, the Irish youngster on the Citroën, who's got soft front and rear.
Nothing to lose, you feel, for O'Gorman. He'll try and charge his way through on the 658 Squadra Corsa Honda winless in the British Grand Prix since Dennis Oggia triumphed back in 2022. The leading Honda rider on the grid on this occasion. Is Adrian Fernandez on the Leopard Honda, who will launch away from that second row in 6th place. Long old lap around Silverstone for these Moto3 pocket rockets, about 60-65 horsepower. So around 2 minutes 9 seconds is the whole time yesterday from Scott Ogden. The best ever race lap here at Silverstone in Moto3 is a 209.727 from Adrian Fernandez, who we just mentioned. So here we go then, chapter 12 in Moto3 about to unfold here in front of the British fans, who have stayed in their numbers. They're out in force to ensure that they potentially don't miss the prospect of home success, of home glory, as Scott Ogden then comes to pole position on the number 19 CIP Green Power machine. He's got family and friends aplenty here supporting him from trackside. So far, he has been able to handle the home race pressure with aplomb. But this is the big point of the weekend. This is where it really matters. On a Sunday afternoon, when there's 25 World Championship points at stake. Ogden then going away from pole position here in front of his home crowd. Lights out and racing in Moto3 here in the Battle of Britain. What a start from David Almanza on that second row. But he's already going to get ahead of Adrian Cruz. He might actually get ahead of Ogden as well. Almanza flying at the start of this British Grand Prix. On the 22 bike, he drops across the nose of Ogden. Almanza then from 4th to lead.
Yeah, I wonder whether the 2 CIP riders just got both pole stars, because look at Carpe also from the second row straight up into 2nd place, and that's Peroni being hung out to dry on the outside. He's going to come out of the loop in 5th.
CIP Green Power versus CIP Green Power through 3 and 4. Oh, as Cruz says, well, that was aggressive, wasn't it, by Carpe? He picked up there, was it Peroni who picked up Cruz, who then in turn picked up Ogden. Ogden got hung out to dry there, didn't he, going through 4?
Yeah, I think he's sort of 7th or 8th now. Look at the riders that have passed him. I think that's Uriarte, who's also ahead of him. That's Adrian Fernandez also, who picked up some of the pieces there to go past Peroni. He's up into 4th.
Ogden's pulled the parachute here. He needs to get his elbows out. He needs to start getting aggressive, because he has dropped already 6 places from just that second career pole position. He has not played out as Ogden would have hoped so far, nearly part of his home Grand Prix. Down 6, pole to 7th.
Yeah, look to get Almanza's start again. There's Uriarte making early progress with Almanza bolting clear. Uriarte has got no time to waste here as he takes 5th from Peroni.
Buchanan's held station started in an equal career best 8th. He is in 8th place as it stands right now, although he has been picked off in that second sector. Down to 11th has gone the Kiwi. Almanza it is. It's almost 2/10 of a second clear of Carpe as they weave their way around this spectacular Magnus and Beckett section. This fighter will now to pick up some good drive out of Chapel, because in Moto3 this is Slipstream City down the Hanger Straight, and it's a slipstream that Carpe is trying to pick up here on Almanza.
Cruz didn't get the best of runs out of Chapel, and that opened the door for Fernandez, but he was on the wrong side of the racetrack, and it opened the door for, I think that's Uriarte, it is, who's now straight up into 3rd place, and Cruz in the end lost 2 spots.
Uriarte's had a real good first lap, hasn't he? He's come through from 7th, ahead of that 3rd row, immediately into podium contention now on the 51 bike. He's been in great form over the last few Grand Prix, hasn't he? 2 recent wins in the copybook for Uriarte. Over the line we go. Now Almanza, after a dream start to this British Grand Prix, leads. Carpe second. It is an all-Spanish top 4. Almanza, Carpe, Uriarte from Fernandez. Peroni over the line in 5th. Ogden dropping those 6 places from pole to 7th.
Yeah, he's reclaimed one of those already, though. He's now passed Cruzes back into 6th, so they still run 6th and 7th, but they now swap positions already. A bit of a split in the group. Back to this battle, which is Danish going up the inside of Joel Esteban. He's now in 8th place, but already a second of a gap already up to the leading group of 6 up ahead.
Joel Kelso's had a bit of a poor first lap. He started the Grand Prix in 10th place. Kelso was over the line in 17th, which is where he still currently sits. So not being able to capitalise on another top 10 qualifying performance has been the Australian. So from the front row of the grid, going the wrong way has been Cruzes and Ogden. Now trying to recover lost early ground. It's still Almanza that's making the headway as they power through the final. This is Woodcote, is it the final corner?
The old final corner,
the old final corner, yes.
We've seen plenty of battles there and plenty of photo finishes over the years as Carpe was trying to launch a raid on Almanza, and he gets a really good run there, doesn't he, out of Copse on the left-hand side of the racetrack, though, which is not the side you really want to be on, as you've got a right-hander coming now as we head into Maggots and Beckett's.
Oh, lovely move that by Uriarte. That was clean as a whistle, but it was ruthless. Attack mode, well and truly engaged by Uriarte. Finds a way through then on Carpe. Nothing that Carpe could do about that. And now Uriarte trying to get his claws into Almanza in the slipstream down the hanger straight. We're on board now with Carpe, who's been pushed back down to 3rd place. He's trying to fend off Adrian Fernandez, his Leopard Honda. Fernandez darts to the inside line going through Stowe. So he's getting a little bit duffed up at the moment. Here is Carpe, Uriarte and Fernandez through in quick succession.
And as requested, Ogden is getting his elbows out. He's just taken Peroni. Peroni's trying to fight back, though, into Vale. That's the battle for 6th place. Carpe's trying to fight back on Fernandez. Uriarte's having a go at David Almanza as they go side by side through Club Corner, and it's Uriarte who will lead us at the end of lap 2.
Yeah, Uriarte's had a real strong second lap here. Fastest rider on circuit is Ogden with a 2:10.438. So after that rather sluggish start from pole position, Ogden is getting into his rhythm. He's getting into his strong early pace. Cruzes, though, dive bombs him going into the village corner. Bit of friendly fire there from Cruzes. It was a clean move. It was a hard move. Ogden's front tyre almost making contact with Cruzes' rear tyre. That could have ended in disaster for the CRP Green Power duo.
Cruzes just gained 3 places in 2 corners, because straight after passing Ogden, he also launched it up the inside of Fernandez and also Carpe. It's not been a good half of that for Carpe. He was second when they came out of Woodcote a lap ago. He's now 6th.
Ogden in this lead group, well ensconced in this lead group. His fellow Brit Eddie O'Shea is down in 13th place. Casey O'Gorman on the soft combination up into 11th. Fernandez aggressive going through Lovefield. He's just made a move on Carpe. Carpe's struggling at the moment. He's getting a real blooded nose from several of his rivals. He's going the wrong way on that 83 bike at the moment.
Yeah, Uriarte is trying to speed this pace up because they're in danger of bringing the likes of Esteban, Danish and Pratama into play. Pratama's now into the top 10 on the Honda Team Asia machine. Reminder, Pratama is on the soft rear tyre. So too is Casey O'Gorman, who's right behind him in 11th.
Cruzes there in 3rd place. Oh, that was getting real close. That was Carpe aggressive on the aggressive flip-flop. The change direction through on Peroni, going through the tail end of Maggots and Beckett's. Dishing out some punishment there, wasn't he, on Peroni? Carpe on board now with Carpe on the 83 bike. Disrupted the rhythm there of Peroni, so there's no way that Peroni can pick up some slipstream down the hanger straight. You can see there, middle of the picture. There is Ogden from pole position. Oh, Uriarte's gone wide. Gone wide then on the brakes into Stowe. That's allowed both Almanza and Fernandez to sweep on through.
Adrian Fernandez sniffing the lead of the Grand Prix here on the 31 bike. Carpe's turning defence into attack. He's up the inside of Cruzes. Peroni around the outside of Cruzes, who's been swapped by Red Bull-sponsored KTMs and loses 2 places.
So back at the front once again is Almanza. He was the leader at the end of the first lap after that brilliant launch off the line, picking off 3 riders on this front right now into the first corner. The fast right-hander of Abbey for a scary old corner this section on a Moto3 bike almost flat out as we're on board then with Uriarte, lining up a move for the lead into Village. Goes Fernandez, off the foot peg there, left foot off the foot peg twice for Almanza, who's trying to fight fire with fire here against Fernandez. And on the inside goes Carpe, saying thank you very much. Door wide open, the space was there, and he took it. Carpe now leads.
Well, I was just about to mention Carpe taking Uriarte into Village. Before I had a chance to mention it, he was taking the lead of the race as Almanza now takes it straight back again down the Wellington Straight. Before he's realised it, Carpe's back where he was in third place.
Less than 2 seconds covering the top 12 riders over the line at the end of that lap 3 of 15. Oh, there was a moment there, wasn't there? I don't know if it was a self-inflicted moment or whether Fernandez's aggression it was that actually picked up that Almanza. I was just looking at the timing splits at the end of that third lap, and I just saw Almanza just picking up that Dynamo Intact machine. We'll try and find a replay of that, because whatever did happen, Almanza is now back in fourth place.
Yeah, Esteban, Danish, O'Gorman, Patama, O'Shea are all right in this now. They've slowed the pace up with all this squabbling. Back in the mid to high 211s, and what was a leading group of 6 is now a leading group of at least 10 or 12.
Just how we love it and like it in Moto3 here around Silverstone. Joel Esteban's come charging through the pack, hasn't he? Started in 12th place at the back of that fourth row. Esteban's worked his way up into this lead group now quite nicely, up into 6th place. See him on the 73 bike there, just jostling for track position, trying to line up a move on Uriarte. He is into stone. It looks like it's a successful mission. That's lovely by Esteban. It's getting better and better into the span. He runs a little bit wide. Does that allow Uriarte to seize back that 5th place? Here comes Ogden as well, trying to line up a move on both the Spaniards. Esteban with the inside line to 16 on Uriarte. Some fight at the front of this Grand Prix.
There's no sign of Aspar's miserable weekend in Moto3 improving. Keeler's absent, of course, through injury, and Marco Morelli's plummeted to 20th in the early stages as we're coming up to 1/3 distance in this Grand Prix. Morelli, of course, 4th in the World Championship, not in the points.
Just over 3 seconds then covering the top 17, 3.1 seconds over the line. Yamanaka in 17th place. He was adrift of Carpe as Esteban's charge towards the front of this Grand Prix continues. He's now up in a 4th place, having picked up Perone. This is some early surge from Esteban.
Fernandez with a conduct warning we saw there on screen, which might be a bit of a clue that perhaps he did play a role in Almanza going wide at Luffield on the previous lap. I don't think Fernandez will be concerned about that warning too much at the moment as he leads this Grand Prix. Carpe, though, keen to have a go at it. Carpe, of course, himself chasing a first Moto3 win, but he goes ever so slightly wide, and you don't have to give Adrian Fernandez any encouragement to ride through the gap.
That was never going to work. He just went in way too hot there into Brooklands. He was always going to run wide and leave the move immediately back open for Fernandez to seize the initiative back once again. Carpe then, we're on board now, looking back to Almanza. Fast and frenetic as always here in Moto3 in Silverstone. Uriarte now is back up in the 4th place, albeit briefly because Esteban has already muscled his way back somehow into P4. It's Fernandez then that is that lead into Magnus and Beckes. Carpe there in 2nd place on the 83 bike.
For the Grand Prix, we're already seeing one of the closest top 15s in Moto3 history was around here, the 2nd closest ever back in 2023, because this circuit just lends itself to this kind of tank racing. The slipstream so powerful down to so many straights here at Silverstone, including this one, and it's Adrian Fernandez who is currently punching that hole in the air.
Good news for British fans is 2 of their own now are firmly in this lead group and this podium battle. Ogden still in 7th place. Fernandez gets roughed down to the paintwork there. Almanza and Carpe go through the slipstream, paying big dividends there on that long run down to. So here comes Esteban now trying to find a way through on Carpe as well. Almanza it is then that's back at the front.
Yeah, it's pass or be passed. I think there was a collision further back, and it was. And that is Cruces on the floor. There were 3 of them going side by side into Vale, and it's Cruces who comes out the wrong side of it.
And that's going to be a 3rd successive DNF.
I think Danish is down with them.
So into Avi we go. Almanza just about holding off the hard-charging Carpe directly behind him. Hakim Danish has also fallen out of this lead group. So over the line, there was less now than 2, or just over 3 seconds covering your top 15. Casey O'Gorman in those final point scoring position. Esteban, we know how aggressive he is. We know he's not going to be shy at trying to sharpen those elbows in this lead group. He's got Uriarte and Perone directly behind him. Still with a very big interest in this home podium battle is Ogden.
Danish has rejoined, but as you can see, it's punched a big hole in that leading group. Back to Buchanan, who leads the chase group now in 8th place, as we see Esteban getting picked up there by the recovering Uriarte, who moves himself back into 4th place. 13 points on offer for 4th, which would close him to within 91 of Quiles, the absent championship leader.
Well, that's about the biggest lead we've seen at any stage of this British Grand Prix so far from Almansa, as he goes charging up now to Copse Corner, trying to get a good clean exit, a good drive as they sling towards Magnus and Beckett. Carte's got good corner speed, hasn't he, on his KTM. How aggressive he is. We know he's not...
Who is currently punching that hole in the air.
Good news for British fans is 2 of their own now are firmly in this lead group and this podium battle. Ogden still in 7th place. Fernandez gets rubbed out to the paintwork there. Almansa and Carpe go through the slipstream, paying big dividends there on that long run down to Stowe. Here comes Esteban now trying to find a way through on Carpe as well. Almansa it is then that's back at the front.
Yeah, it's pass or be passed. I think there was a collision further back, and it was. And that is Cruces on the floor. There were 3 of them going side by side into Vale, and it's Cruces who comes out the wrong side of it.
And that's going to be a 3rd successive DNF.
I think Danish is down with them.
Cruces. So into Avi we go. Almansa just about holding off the hard-charging Carpe directly behind him. Hakim Danish has also fallen out of this lead group. So over the line, there was less now than 2, or just over 3 seconds covering your top 15. Casey O'Gorman in those final point scoring position. Esteban, we know how aggressive he is. We know he's not going to be shy at trying to sharpen those elbows in this lead group. He's got Uriarte and Perrone directly behind him. Still, with a very big interest in this home podium battle, is Ogden.
Danish has rejoined, but as you can see, it's punched a big hole in that leading group. Back to Buchanan, who leads the chase group now in 8th place, as we see Esteban getting picked up there by the recovering Uriarte, who moves himself back into 4th place. 13 points on offer for 4th, which would close him to within 91 of Quiles, the absent championship leader.
Well, that's about the biggest lead we've seen at any stage of this British Grand Prix so far from Almansa, as he goes charging up now to Copse Corner, trying to get a good clean exit, a good drive as they sling towards Magnus and Beckett. Carte's got good corner speed, hasn't he, on his KTM, going through that turn 9. Fernandez, we know that he's going to be a serious contender late on. There's Esteban then in 5th place. Uriarte looking really, really strong once again. This is rather concerning, isn't it?
Red flag this.
Yeah, we might have to red flag this, as Adrian Cruces still under attention from the trackside staff.
Yeah, so looking to the back of the picture, yeah, it's O'Gorman, I think, who runs into the back of Cruces, and Danish is unaware of what's happening, and fortunately there, Cruces flies into the side of Danish, so he does ultimately go down, but kind of an innocent party in all of that. No sign at the moment as they're now into Stowe Corner, and of course next corner is Vale, where Cruces was being treated of a red flag, so it looks like we are good to go.
It was a nasty one, a real nasty landing, wasn't it, for Cruces? You feel there that maybe there's a wrist or a collarbone issue as he landed heavily into turn 16. Oh no, Ogden's gone down. Well, it's been a horrendous 90 seconds or so for CIP Green Pound. That's the mother of all high sides for Ogden, on the power coming out of Club Corner. So with Cruces out of podium contention a couple of laps ago, and now Ogden almost sends himself to the moon. There's going to be no fairy tale home podium from pole position here for Scott Ogden. That was huge.
Yeah, he's on his feet, as we could see out of the window. You can now see on screen, just at the back of the picture, lights the rear tyre up and lands hard on his right hip and his right knee. And certainly half of the hope of British success today has gone with Ogden out of the Grand Prix. All hopes now rest on the shoulders of Eddie O'Shea in 9th place.
A super Saturday for CIP Green Power, 1st and 2nd in Q2, but a sorry Sunday for Alan Bronick's squad, as in quick succession Cruces and Ogden crash out of podium contention. That has now left this league group then, which features Almansa, Carpe, Fernandez, Uriarte, Esteban and Perrone, doing some serious hard work to get himself to the head of that second group once again is Matteo Bertelli, who we know has always got great race pace. Qualifying not exactly Bertelli's forte so far this year. He's come from 16th onto the fringes of the top 6.
Casey O'Gorman has been given a long lap penalty for causing the crash, the first of the 2 crashes we've recently seen. Of course, the crash that took out Cruces. O'Gorman is running in in 13th place. That long lap penalty will take him out of the points.
Yeah, and that aggression from O'Gorman, which has cost him a long lap, has sort of really broken the lead group here big time, hasn't it? I mean, it's sort of stretching out even more now. So Danish also involved through no fault of his own. Another innocent party from the O'Gorman incident as Esteban, he's wide, and that's going to allow Fernandez to ease on through at Stowe. Almanza it is that's still making the front running as we drop down now into Vale, into turn 16, which is where we just saw a few months ago. O'Gorman collect Cruces, and now we're going to be careful on the power as you go through the right-hander of Club, because this is where Ogden had the big high side.
Past half race distance now, that is 7 of 15 completed. We're now on to lap 15 of this British Grand Prix as Carpe has half a look at the inside of David Almanza leading this race. 22 leads 83. Uriarte, course a Grand Prix winner, beating his rookie teammate, his teammate to it, and he's now passing his teammate. Uriarte versus Carpe side by side, but the 83 is not giving that up without a fight.
Yeah, and Carpe knew there that he'd have the inside line crucially going through turn 4, the loop. They'll keep it bank left and now through Aintree. This is turn 5. Crucial to get some good acceleration now onto this Wellington straight. Easy to let yourself into the clutches of a rider behind you for a move into Brooklands. Almanza a little bit out of shape as he was on the brakes into that turn 6. Not enough out of shape though to yield the lead.
So we've got KTM's first, second, third, fifth and sixth, and the sole Honda and Fernandez in that leading group. Good to see that Danish is okay, who was kind of on the outside and nowhere really to go in the midst of all of this, as he had Adrian Cruces quite literally flying through the air towards him. We hope that Cruces hasn't had any serious injury done there. They can see on top of the picture on the outside, so after surviving that, he then crashed on the way out of Vale and through Club, and that was where Danish dropped to the back of the field.
Looked like his teammate Yamanaka did a really good job there to avoid him. Hard to really digest and process exactly what did take Danish out of that Grand Prix, because it was all instigated by the O'Gorman Cruces incident. Just ahead of Yamanaka then in 8th place. He's just ahead of Eddie O'Shea, who's keeping himself inside that top 10. A potential excellent strong top 10 finish in front of his home crowd for O'Shea. The lead group jostling for position, and at the end of the hanger straight it's still Almanza that will hold the lead into Stowe. That's a real strong overtaking hotspot gone for Carpe in second place. Another one coming up as we drop down into the chicane.
Yeah, we'll get a look at Eddie O'Shea. You'll like the look of his special home race livery that he's running today for the British Grand Prix. O'Shea confirmed, as we mentioned before the start, for 2027 with the Grid Racing squad. He's in a big battle with rookie Sal Mella and Eddie O'Shea's own teammate Joel Kelso to Pratama in that battle too, as we see Colin Vire, former Moto3 star, waving in support of Alvaro Carpe and Brian Uriarte, his IO teammates.
Just for confirmation, O'Gorman has served his long lap penalty. It cost him about 2.5 seconds on the 658 Squadra course machine. He is still circulating inside the point scoring places. So Gorman then now has returned to the circuit in 14th spot, back at the front. A lead group of 6, which were covered by less than 3/4 of a second as we moved on to lap 9 of 15. Yellow flags out once again. More drama at turn 3. That's going into Village. I think Buchanan's name is tumbling down the order. So Cormac Buchanan, who was 13th at the start of this lap 9, it looks like he's dropped down to 19th now. So yeah, he is out of the Grand Prix. I was hoping that maybe he'd just run off and brought out the yellow flags, but no, it's race over for Buchanan, and it's a very frustrated Kiwi.
Angry either at himself or potentially at somebody else who played a role in his exit. We haven't, of course, seen what happened to Buchanan yet, but he is out of the Grand Prix. The pace, pretty good. In fact, on our screens, it's saying he stopped with a technical issue, so potentially not Cormac Buchanan's fault. Potentially the KTM's packed up on him.
God, that's harsh, that's tough, because he was on course for back-to-back point-scoring finishes, wasn't he, in 2026, Buchanan. So understandably venting his frustration with the technical issue, which has denied him a chance to fight for the top 10. He was in the thick of that battle actually for 7th, all the way up to Matteo Vitelli, the Italian, who is still in 7th place, as Carpe going another long way around, potentially on the run down to Stowe, and that's left the door wide open for Adrian Fernandez, who just says, well, thank you very much. If you're going to leave the door that ajar, I think I'll fire straight on through. A bit of a twist there on the power, wasn't it, for Fernandez with lean angle on the exit of Stowe, and that's going to leave him open to attack from Uriarte. Brilliant couple of corners this from Uriarte. Uriarte as he moves through on Carpe and Fernandez.
Yeah, the IO teammates potentially about to do a number on Fernandez, who was briefly second. He's now fourth. Carpe back through on the way through club. They do need to be slightly careful as Almanza sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, bettered by Uriarte. Has to do it too because Almanza in danger of opening up a bit of an advantage as they all fight behind him.
Look close there. Looked like there was a bit of contact almost avoided. I'm not really sure it was Carpe or Perrone further back in this top six battle. Carpe sends it from a long way back on Fernandez going into turn three. Well, that's really nothing that Fernandez could do about that. Oh, Carpe got the elbows out. Big style there.
He just picked up his KTM and threw it in the direction of Adrian Fernandez. It was effective, don't get me wrong, but Adrian Fernandez will not thank Alvaro Carpe for it as he now sits in fourth place. So might come under further pressure yet here from Esteban as it's Io versus Io up ahead, and it's Carpe back in second now.
You can see against this armada of KTMs how hard Fernandez is having to work to keep his Leopard Honda in the hunt here at Silverstone. He was all out of shape on the brakes going into turn six. Thought Esteban was going to send it on the inside of him. Fernandez though did resist. This is the battle for second place. You can just see there, he's about to tip into the fast right-hander of Kops. That is your race leader, Almanza. We were just, identical lap times really by Almanza and Uriarte. 2:10.2s those two exchange on that previous lap.
Both the I-Riders were off the road there coming out of Kops. They went the wrong side of the curb, and they do have to be a little bit careful here that Almanza doesn't extend that advantage out because the keeping up the slipstream so important. It keeps the group together, but when you lose it, as we've seen with the splits in this leading group with some of the incidents we've happened, it's so difficult to chase back up to a gap once you lose that toe.
David Almanza, it feels like an awful long time ago now, doesn't it? Because it is, when he won that classic start to 2026, that last lap showdown with Max Quiles to take his one and only Grand Prix victory at the Chang International Circuit in Bahrain. Looking really strong to put all of his illness and injury woes behind him. It's been a tough run since that brilliant opening Grand Prix at times for Almanza, but he is still leading and in charge of this British Grand Prix as we're coming through now the final corner. We're about to move on to lap 11 of 15. Carpe directly behind him though has just set his fastest lap of the race. That's a hot pace by Carpe, a 2:10.199. That was half a second quicker than Almanza on that lap 10.
Recognising the danger that Almanza had a half-second advantage, he's closed it straight back down again. David Almanza has spent more time than anyone bar Quiles leading Moto3 races so far this season, but as you mentioned, hasn't won since that season opener. Has been ravaged with injury and illness in this 2026 season, which is why he's fifth in the World Championship when he really ought to be second. Can he take the opportunity in the absence of Quiles today?
The O'Shea's now climbed up into 8th place, picked off Rico Salman at the Finn on that last lap. Pini's just taken Rios further down the point scoring places in their particular squabble for 14th and 15th respectively. David Gonzalez in for the injured David Munoz doing a real good job for Dynavolt intact. He's right in the hunt for some debut points here in Moto3. Looking back then to Fernandez, we're on board briefly there with Carpe as he went through Woodcote. Not making any significant sort of challenge back towards that top three at the moment is Perrone. I wonder if he's just maybe in a little bit of tyre conservation mode, sort of setting himself up for a late charge.
You mentioned Gonzalez. He's ahead of Marco Morelli at the moment, which will be quite a scalp to claim on his Grand Prix debut. Morelli has been absolutely nowhere this afternoon on the Seoul Aspar KTM. Still nowhere near the points, and as it stands, is going to lose fourth place in the World Championship.
He's going to lose his proud record as well. He's trebled the points scoring place in all 11 Grand Prix so far this year as Morelli. 5 of those finishes have been inside the top 6, just not at the races at all today though, is he? Fernandez certainly is, as he gets a bit racy on the inside of Carpe at the end of the hanger straight. No way through though. This is building, isn't it, into another grandstand finish, another thrilling finale here at Silverstone in Moto3. It's aggressive from Uriarte, really aggressive from Uriarte on the inside of Fernandez into turn 16. and he made it work.
He's chasing back-to-back victories, of course, either side of the summer break. That memorable head-to-head with Keyless in the German Grand Prix. He's got a few more opposition in this leading group at the moment, 5 of them to be exact, joining Ariarte in this leading group, including his teammate up ahead, who himself is chasing a maiden victory that his teammate took a week ago. And for the second time in, around 3 laps, we see Ariarte attacking Carpe into Village.
Yeah, he's good on the brakes. He's really good on the brakes into Village. Carpe, though, does fight fire with fire and take that second place back over Ariarte, sensing there might be room there to go through on Carpe at turn 5. That's ancient. There was no way through. Batelli is still keeping himself ahead of that second group. Batelli in 7th place. Sam Mallow has fought back on O'Shea to reclaim 8th spot as Ariarte this time around is at turn 6, where he finds a way back through on Carpe once again.
Yeah, Fernandez still holding 4th. We haven't seen much of Esteban and Peroni in this battle for the podium. They've been in that group, but just at the tail end of it, are they saving something for a late attack, or are they on their absolute limit? The 78 of Esteban and the 73 of Peroni just to stay in this leading group.
So after his long lap penalty, O'Gorman's worked his way back up into 13th. He was as low as 14th, having gone through the long lap for his contact with Cruces, which put the Valencian out of this lead group from that front row of the group. He also, of course, lost, unfortunately, home hero Scott Ogden from pole position when he was right in this lead battle. It's Almanza then, as they snake their way through Maggots and Beckett. 3.5 laps remaining here at Silverstone. It has been close throughout between this pair. Bit of an inter-team tussle between Carpe and Ariarte. More than World Championship points at stake. There's bragging rights on the line here as well, isn't there, in the IO garage between those two?
Yeah, Carpe, 3 races without a podium for the first time in nearly a year. He's now out of the podium positions, as we nearly saw Fernandez tag the rear tyre of Ariarte. Yeah, Carpe beat it up a bit on this lap, started the lap in 2nd place. He might yet end it in 5th, as that's Esteban sweeping around the outside of him, and almost Fernandez too.
Does not lack aggression, does he, Joel Esteban? If you're going to pass him, you better make sure you make it stick, because you know at the very next corner you're going to be seeing Joel Esteban's front tyre. He's still right in the battle for the victory here. 4th place, and now goes Esteban. It's still Almanza, though, that leads. Now this pressure is starting to build from Ariarte behind him. Ariarte, here he goes, he's attacking. This has been his favourite overtaking move. He's been so good on the brakes since that tight turn 3. Ariarte then into Village, takes the lead from Almanza.
Carpe at the back of that group is still trying to defend. Oh, you don't go out there, Joel Esteban. Touched the very scorched grass here at Silverstone, and that's dropped into the back of the leading group.
He'll be happy and relieved that he's still upright on that KTM. Weaving left and right all over the shop at the moment is Fernandez. Surely he's not going to go around the outside of both Almanza and Ariarte into Brooklands. Ariarte somehow comes out of turn 6, still leading this Grand Prix. Fernandez was thinking about a real daring raid on the outside of the pair of those Spaniards ahead of him, but he's still there in 3rd on the 31 Honda.
Yeah, Ariarte wasn't letting him have that, but that KTM Almanza really does punch up the corners very well. Look at the run he gets now here out of Woodcut, and it's enabled him to swoop back past again. Fernandez also at the inside of Ariarte, so Almanza, no sooner as he lost the lead, he's taken it back again.
It's a shame that mistake came from Esteban as he charged towards Aintree, because he had just put in his best lap of the Grand Prix so far, 2:10.4, as Ariarte finds his way back through on Carpe, going through Maggots and Beckett. You have got to be bold. You've got to have some confidence to make a move through this spectacular high-speed sweep around Silverstone. A talent that Ariarte is blessed with and some.
It's almost a high-speed game of chess, this. They're going to have to try and position themselves as best as possible. Do you want to lead onto Hanger Straight on the final lap, might be the question. Almanza looks like he's got the top-end speed. They're leading on to Hanger Straight. He can still get to the other end of it to Stoke Corner ahead. I'm not so sure the others can.
Esteban, having cleared the dirt off that Pirelli rear tyre, is starting to work his way back into this heated podium battle as Peroni gets sucked in hot into turn 16. Esteban looking ahead of him, hoping that there's going to be some big tussling ahead of him, because it's going to drag him right back into contention. We have 2 laps to go here. It's boiling up nicely in this British Grand Prix Moto3. It's Almanza that leads over the line, 10.5 clear of Fernandez. Ariarte there, looking for back-to-back wins in 3rd place.
Marco Morelli's misery is complete. He's got a long lap penalty. Surely Uriarte's going to attack again into Village. That's his trademark move in this British Grand Prix, and this time it's Fernandez who falls victim to it.
It's Carrara who's crashed out late on. Fernandez this time around had the inside line going through turn 4 on the loop. He sends it on the inside of Uriarte. Nice move from Fernandez. This playing into the hands a little bit late on of Almanza, who's got about half a dozen bike lengths now as he powers down the Wellington straight.
Yep, still a leading group of 6, covered by just under a second now. Esteban's just about in the back of the picture. There he is, trying to get himself back into touch as we close in on the final lap of this Grand Prix. We're looking back from Carpe running 4th. That's Valentin Peroni on the Tech 3 KTM we're staring at.
That little squabble between Fernandez and Uriarte in the first sector did give Almanza a couple of tenths. His lead crept up to almost 4 tenths, which is one of the biggest gaps we've seen throughout the whole of this British Grand Prix. Carpe back through on Uriarte. Lovely move that going into Cobbs. That was some move by Carpe. Did he compromise those exit speed? I think he did, because now he looks like he might just have to tough it out with Uriarte going through Maggis and Beckett. Uriarte sends him through the runoff area there. Carpe will not appreciate that one.
Yeah, and that might well just put paid to Carpe's hopes of a first victory. He is still in the group, but now back in 5th place. He had just been given a track limits warning even prior to that, but I'm not sure that's on his mind at the moment.
Almanza then it is, with just over 20 corners remaining of this classic British Grand Prix. It is that lead, daylight between himself and Fernandez.
Slow up for Yamanaka.
4 day for MSI, with Hakim Danish taken out of contention early on, and now technical problems for Yamanaka as Uriarte goes through on Fernandez. Uriarte knows he can't let Almanza get away as they start this final lap. Almanza's lead. Let's check it over Uriarte as we do start the final lap. Just under 6 kilometres remaining of this British Grand Prix. It is 4 tenths advantage for Almanza. Fair play to Almanza. He's just playing his best lap of the Grand Prix. A 2:10.251. What have you got those behind him?
Peroni also set his personal best in 4th. That's about to become 5th, and this is also good news for David Almanza as Adrian Fernandez tries to do the Uriarte trick on Brian Uriarte into Village Corner. The 51, though, holds on to 2nd.
That key mistake right here a couple of laps ago has killed off any hopes of Esteban being right in the thick of this victory battle late on. Esteban struggling now. He's been cut adrift by almost 2 seconds back in 6th place. A solid top 6 though incoming for Esteban. Almanza then. Uriarte's crashed out. Well, Brian Uriarte trying to recover important World Championship points with runaway series leader Max Keeler sidelined through injury, while Uriarte drops a clanger here in the British Grand Prix. 3rd place, trail-breaking into turn 6. Down he goes, and look at this. Max Keeles sat at home watching this British Grand Prix with a recovering fractured right collarbone. He's going to be still 90-odd points clear of anybody else in this World Championship.
It's Carpe who's going to pick up the pieces and 2nd in the World Championship. Might get 2nd in the race yet. It's Adrian Fernandez who he has to deal with in this final sector to take 2nd place. But with all that unfolding behind him, it's left the road clear for David Almanza.
I have to say, in Uriarte's defence, mistakes have been few and far between from the exciting Spanish rookie so far this year. That is going to be his first DNF of the campaign, and it has played into the hands of Almanza. Surely he's going to win for just the 2nd time in 2026. Who will win the battle for the final 2 places of the podium? Oh, there's a moment there, wasn't on the front end for Fernandez. You could see his foot peg. His foot was off that left foot peg, and now he might be losing the podium. Carpe comes through to 2nd.
Peroni's going to have a go too. Peroni launches on the inside, and Fernandez is nudged off the podium.
So after all the late drama, Uriarte crashing out of contention on the final lap. It is David Almanza who is going to win the British Grand Prix in Moto3 here at Silverstone. It's just his 2nd ever Grand Prix victory. His first since the opening round at Thailand over in Buriram. Congratulations.